说实话
Honestly,
哈，
women
我
like
这种
me
女
are
人最
pretty pitiful. I'm 40 this year, still unmarried, with a face that never lacks suitors, yet I've managed to turn myself into a lone wolf purely through my own talent. It's not because I'm unattractive, really it's not. It's just that I'm too hard to fool. Sweet talk and fake affection. I see right through it and don't buy it for a second. Friends say I'm too picky, but I just don't want to settle. I can't stomach the idea of pairing up with just anyone to get by. Sometimes I think being too clear-headed isn't a blessing. Others muddle through, get married and have kids, while I'm still sifting and sorting, ending up with nothing. What do you think? Does being too aware just make life harder? I've considered settling for someone decent enough, but then I figure settling's worse than being alone. Do you ever feel this way? I'm genuinely lost. Single life's exhausting, finding someone's even worse. Yesterday a friend urged me to try blind dating. The thought gives me a headache, but skipping it makes me worry I'll miss out. What's your take?
我就想知道大家找结婚对象都看什么。
I just want to ask, what do you all look for in a spouse? I'm 35, never married, probably what you'd call an older leftover woman. When you pick a partner, is it age, figure, looks, family background, or compatibility that matters? I'm totally clueless, no idea where the bar even is. I used to think my standards weren't high, but now I can't even find someone I can chat with. 2 sentences in, and the conversation dies. People suggest dates, but I can't be bothered. What's the point of the hassle? My mom says I'm too fussy, but I don't think I'm asking for a millionaire, just someone steady who can hold a conversation without it fizzling out. Do you ever feel this lost? How do you find the right person? I'm starting to wonder if I'm doomed to stay single. Last week, a colleague set me up with someone. I saw the photo and felt nothing, but I didn't want to be rude and say no. So tangled up.
有没有男生能帮一下这个商丘闺女啊？
Lately, finding a partner feels downright impossible. When someone asks me out, I think, ugh, meeting up probably won't lead anywhere, and I just don't want to leave the house. I used to force myself to chat a bit, but now I can't even muster an opener. Awkward small talk for 2 minutes, and I'm itching to hang up. How did you all get out of the single game? Any secrets to share? I'm a girl from Shankyu, all alone here, dying for a reliable guy to help me out. Are my standards too high? I don't think I'm asking for much, just someone I can talk to, who makes me feel secure, maybe grab a meal and chat sometimes. Why is that so hard? What do you think? My friends are all married, and I'm the odd one out. Pressure's crushing, but I don't want to settle. Any advice? I really don't want to live like this forever.
是不是再不结婚就像犯了死罪一样？
This morning, a couple brought their daughter to a matchmaking meetup, hoping to find her a good match. Their demands were pretty simple. The guy doesn't need a house or car, not even a wedding, just a meal with both families would do. Their daughter's 36, decent looking, gentle personality, a bit over 1.6 meters tall, with a stable clerical job. They said as long as the guy's honest, hardworking, and has some ambition, that's enough. Age can swing 10 years either way. I thought those terms were pretty lenient, but they're still worried they won't find anyone. What do you think? Is finding a partner really this tough nowadays? They mentioned she's had 2 failed relationships and can't settle now, which makes them anxious for her. They even asked if I could play matchmaker, but I wouldn't know where to start.
探讨一个问题啊，你们
That couple kept chatting with me. They said if their daughter marries, they're willing to throw in 100,000 yuan as a dowry. They're desperate, worried that the older she gets, the riskier childbirth becomes, so they're hoping she ties the knot this year and has a baby next. They were earnest, saying she's healthy, but age is a concern. They even showed me her medical reports. But why does it feel like staying single is some huge crime? Any suitable guys out there? Are these terms fair? They seem like a solid family. Shouldn't be hard to find a match, right? Yet reality's so harsh. They added that young people today aren't in a rush to marry, so their urgency feels pointless. I'm stressed just hearing it.
如果不是为了生理需求，谁还会
Whenever I mention not wanting to marry, my parents lose it, full-on emotional meltdown. They say there's something wrong with my head, that all my years of education were a waste, and I'd have been better off working after junior high. At least I'd have a few kids by now, and the house would be bustling. I was floored, speechless. They called me an ungrateful wretch, raising me all these years for nothing, which nearly brought me to tears. I felt so wronged. The injustice kills me. Is it really that serious? Just because I don't marry, they're ready to kick me out. Have you dealt with this? Why are parents so obsessed? I just want to live well on my own. How'd I become their enemy? We had a blowout over this last month, and now I dread going home.
说实话，我最看不惯那些年纪不小的大龄剩女。
Let's discuss, do all older unmarried women really have sky-high standards? I'm 35, never married, and feel qualified to weigh in. Many women I know don't demand the moon, just a decent guy they can talk to, with okay conditions. But reality? Even that's out of reach. I wonder if we're too picky, but looking back, our asks don't seem outrageous, just a reliable partner, no mansions or Ferraris. What's it like with the leftover women around you? Are they as lost as me? Several single friends in my circle, we hype each other up at gatherings, but deep down, it stings. Last meetup, we talked about this, and the more we did, the bleaker it felt.
我再说一遍，
I reckon 99% of women don't ask for much, just a passable guy with decent conditions. But unbelievably, even that's unattainable. Chatting with guys, they say if it weren't for physical needs, who'd bother chasing women? Most girls are dull to hang with, more fun to kick it with the boys. They claim women want too much, men can't deliver, so they stop trying, preferring to live free. It stings to hear, but there's some truth. What's finding a partner for, anyway? Just physical needs? I feel it's more than that. I still hope for someone genuinely good to me, even if he's average, but reality keeps letting me down.
睡完了还问我要这么多钱啊？
Lately, some guys told me most women are exhausting to deal with. Women aren't direct, always making you guess, but guys like it straightforward, simple's better, no mental gymnastics. Plus, the way we think is wired differently. Women love dramas, manicures, music, guys are into cars, gaming, a cold beer. Interests don't sync, how do you even talk? They say, if not for passing on the family line, who'd bother sweet-talking women? It hurts, but it tracks. Do you agree? Is the gap between men and women really that wide? I try understanding guys, but it's like there's a wall we can't connect. Any tips?
我觉得现在那些要彩礼的女的都是男的惯出来的。
Honestly, I can't stand older single women who still put looks first when picking a partner. You're over 30. If you want marriage, go for someone mature with conditions like yours for a steady life. Obsessing over looks is too emotional, makes life a roller coaster, and you'll just end up unhappy. Marriage is for living, not a beauty contest. Divorce odds only climb. I've seen it. Women pick and pick, end up with nothing, then regret it in their 40s, wishing they'd settled. What do you think? Are looks that big a deal? I say character and responsibility trump all agree. To me, a good life beats a pretty face any day.
现在很多女人在追求高价彩礼。
Here's my advice. If they don't take the initiative, move on. If they won't commit, move on. If they don't respond, move on. If they're hot and cold, move on. If they string you along, move on. If they claim they're slow to warm up, move on. If they give you the silent treatment, move on. For anyone who's half-hearted in love, just play the numbers game. If they can't solve the problem, solve them, cut them out. Don't drain yourself or waste time. I'm 35, single for years, and I've figured it out. You've got to be decisive in finding a partner, no dragging things out. I dated someone once, half a year of dawdling, and it still fell apart. Waste of time and tears. Have you been through this? Don't you think dragging it out is pointless? I'd rather have nothing than settle, but I don't know when I'll meet the right one. Sometimes I wonder if I'm too stubborn.
在国内搞女权这帮人啊。
In big cities like Beijing, Shanghai, and Guangzhou, it's trending now. Girls demand high dowries, so guys demand thorough premarital checkups. They figure if they're shelling out big money, they don't want to marry someone used, it bugs them, feels like a bad deal. I've been a matchmaker in Fengxian for years, and tons of guys tell me they're fine with paying, but the girl's got to be worth it. Spending a fortune on a first marriage woman who's no different from a divorcee? They can't stomach it. Some say girls demand a lot but bring nothing to the table, why should they pay so much? Guys in the comments, do you feel the same? How do you view dowries? I'm curious about everyone's take, especially the girls. Last time, a guy said he'd be fine with a lower dowry. What do you think?
为啥说现在大家找对象都难啊?
A 32-year-old guy came in today. He said if a girl demands a dowry, he'd rather stay single forever. Bachelor's degree, works in a public institution, owns a house and car. He can afford it, he just won't. He thinks dowries are outdated nonsense, that Chinese men are the only ones worldwide stuck in this mess. Paying a dowry, buying a house, a car, all the pressure's on the guy. It's unfair. He wants to change this trend. Why should he fork over cash just because she asks? He says his conditions are decent, but dowry talk annoys him. No matter how great the girl is, he's out. Does he have a point? I think he's got some interesting ideas, but can reality shift? He's dead set, even saying he'd rather be single than cave. What's your take?
85年39岁了。
That guy also said foreign men don't pay dowries, even split dinner bills. Why are Chinese guys so exhausted? He's got good conditions but hates dowry talk, no matter how perfect the girl, he's done. He thinks some Chinese girls are spoiled rotten, demanding this and that with nothing to offer. Guys created this mess by indulging them. He gave an example. His friend dated a girl who demanded 200,000 yuan in dowry, then bolted, leaving his friend so pissed he swore off marriage. Pretty wild, right? Do you back his view? Single folks, chime in. Are dowry-demanding girls really spoiled by men? Some guys I know complain the same, girls' demands keep rising, and they're ready to give up. Thoughts?
谁能想到舔狗经济崩盘？
Some girls chase high dowries, calling it tradition. I'm thinking, if it's tradition, shouldn't you at least be a virgin? Back in the day, it was about chastity, the 3 obediences and 4 virtues, heavy gold for an untouched bride, carried in a grand sedan, not some worn-out goods. Want a dowry? Prove you're worth it. But now, some girls demand cash while offering nothing. Why? Divorced women asking for dowries. I can't wrap my head around it. I heard about a divorcee demanding 300,000 yuan, the guy just ran. What do you think? Should we keep this tradition alive? I feel like people use it as an excuse to grab more money, agree.
单身的女生越来越多。
To the feminists in China, I'd say switch tracks. Why's feminism fading in Japan and Taiwan? 20 years ago they pushed it hard, but men just checked out, lying flat. Why spend money when you can enjoy it yourself? It's 2024, and Chinese guys are waking up too. No more simping, they're done indulging. Feminism's got capital behind it, but when no one's buying, it fizzles. Don't you see it? More men are getting wise. I think it's obvious. Some guys I know say single life's the best. Chasing girls is too tiring, not worth it. Yesterday, a friend said he'd rather get a dog than date. What do you think of that?
当代女人的5大幻觉。
Plus, feminism's clashing with LGBT. Those groups don't mix. What's the endgame? Men stop spending, LGBT pushes back. What's the point? China's had gender equality since 1949. Women's status came from men fighting for it. Now, some aren't after equality. They want dominance. That's the wrong start. A friend said loud feminists just want handouts, who'd oppose real equality. He added that some girls preach equality, but expect guys to pay. Total contradiction. Thoughts? What's feminism really about? Did we get it twisted? I think the term's been hijacked. We need to rethink it.
你好，我是过来相亲的。
Why's finding a partner so hard now?
Girls want tall, handsome, honest guys with a bit of edge. Not too stiff, not too wild. He's got to be rich but spend only on her, not others. Be popular but home early. Not too idle or unambitious, but not too busy to dote on her. A laundry list. How can any guy hit every mark? Guys who can't just opt out. I know dudes who say single life's better. Why chase girls when you can treat yourself? They'd rather save for a nice car than date or marry. Is this normal? Are expectations too high? I say both sides need to get real, or we'll all stay single. No one's fault. Agree?
现在的男人正在以自杀性
I'm 39, born in 85, and lately I feel like I'll never marry. Exhausted. I've got what young girls have. Good figure, stable job. But the guys I like wouldn't glance my way. Family nags, friends nudge, and I'm lost. Maybe I won't marry in this lifetime. Anyone feel the same? Tried a second marriage, divorced again, thinking I'll just grow old alone. At this age, should I just accept it? Sometimes I feel like a failure. Missed my shot when I was young. Finding someone decent now is so hard. Went on a blind date recently. They heard my age and ghosted. It's a blow. Any advice?
孙女儿的注意了。
Who'd have thought? The simp economy's crashed, girls' loan default rates shot up 20 times. They used to be prime clients for lenders, simps paid their bills, credit cards swiped for clothes, bags, no problem. But these past few years money's tight, simps can't even save themselves. Who's got spare cash to cover them? Time for girls to step up, true equality's here. I know folks deep in debt, anxious, drowning in bank calls, some even dodging collectors at their door. Seen this around you? Time to rely on ourselves? It's a big shift, girls need to adapt, or life's gonna suck.
别再说大龄剩女最
Dating's cost-benefit ratio sucks for guys. A date? Dinner's 300 to 400 yuan, movie and milk tea another 100 to 200, drinks at a bar 200 to 300, plus transport, nearly 1,000 gone. A sensible girl might mean a 300 to 400 hotel night, and clueless one? Money spent, nothing gained, she might even think you're taking advantage. No wonder guys ditch dating. Compare that to a 298 yuan foot massage, relaxing, add an hour if you're in the mood, full emotional payoff, no drama. Right? Some guys I know say dating's too pricey, they'd rather enjoy themselves, save for a trip over a date. Fair take.
圣女雅典娜自称遭到了杀猪盘。
A big sister I know was super picky in her youth. 25 and rejecting anyone without looks or 180 centimeters height, demanding talent, money, good family too. 5 years of blind dates, still single. At 30, pressure hit. 35, despair. 40, she married a divorcee out of necessity. No love, divorced 2 years later. She told me if she could rewind, she'd grab the guy who sent flowers at 25. She was hot stuff then, tons of suitors. Life doesn't wait for you to pick. Grab what's real. Agree. Miss it and it's gone. I've known her ages. Seeing her regret hits hard. She wishes she hadn't been so choosy back then.
大龄剩女最后的归宿是什么？
The future might flip. Girls chasing guys, believe it or not. Rich guys don't want to marry. Single life's too sweet. Why drain your savings to pamper a princess? Broke ones can't. Mortgages, car loans crushing them. Marry and it's a lifetime of debt and misery. Wedding costs all fall on guys. If this doesn't change, fewer will marry. I know single dudes who'd rather stay that way than suffer. Dating's draining, marriage worse. Better to save and live well solo. Think so? Isn't this trend growing? I say singles will multiply. Everyone's scared off. Yesterday someone told me marriage is self-inflicted pain. Your take?
The video is coming to an end, and if you enjoyed it, please consider subscribing. I'll keep updating with content you love, and your support is my biggest motivation to keep going. Also, feel free to leave any suggestions in the comments. I'll be picking some of your feedback from there, and those selected will get a mysterious reward from me.